The 0-2 Chicago Cubs already before opening day. The
It's
domestic opener.
over.
They are starting tomorrow night in Arizona, who's actually my
Oof.
World Series. I've predicted them
Yikes.
to be in the World Series this year.
0 and
Yeah, the
5,
Cubs.
looking at him right in the face.
Wow, that might be if you and I do our next podcast next Monday and they are 0 and 5, it might be the earliest panic or patience segment we've ever done.
Yes. I'm pulling for that, by the way.
For content, yes, I see that for my
And
mental health.
my personal enjoyment.
Yeah. Hopefully that does not occur, but yes, that there's a potential that the Cubs could return. Actually, they wouldn't even be home. They would be still going to Oakland to play to Sacramento to play in a AAA stadium against the A's before they finally return home late next week. So the big news, I guess, I saw yesterday is that the Cubs actually sold out their season tickets for 2025 finally.
Thank God. I won't be pestered anymore. Hassled. As a White Sox fan by the Cubs front office. Jesus.
Yeah.
The
You did
ticket
a segment
office.
a couple weeks ago where you were getting solicitations from the Cubs themselves trying to get a White Sox fan to buy their season tickets. That was news to me. I couldn't believe it. I haven't heard about that the Cubs had been struggling to sell season tickets, but I don't remember them ever announcing just 2 days before opening day that they finally did sell out of their
Yes.
season ticket stock. So I thought that was an interesting announcement. Oh yeah, the email I got also said that of course you can get in line for 2026. Fortunately, they're not charging $19.01 like the A's are for their eventual potential Las Vegas first season. So yeah, you can get on that list and not have to pay at least to get in line. But so I thought that was magnanimous of the Cubs. But I'm wondering, I guess it didn't surprise me. I was kind of heartened by the Cubs fan reaction that they didn't sell out all their season tickets right away when we did that segment a couple weeks ago. I'm kind of wondering what has changed, like how they finally sold out that inventory. I mean, can't the Cubs don't look a whole lot different than they did last year. They moved some pieces around. They did get Kyle Tucker, but that hasn't looked all that great. He had like one hit in the spring and had one hit in Tokyo. Certainly can't be that optimism can't be fueled by the comments of Jed Hoyer, who had his annual interview with John Greenberg of The Athletic. Actually, that came out today, where Greenberg, he's quickly, if he's not already my favorite Cubs beat reporter, he's brutal with his questioning, and Jed Hoyer had to go through it. It was fucking great. It's exactly what you and I would ask if we had the balls to do it and had Jed Hoyer on the podcast to talk about it. They said, Hoyer admitted that, we have to exceed our projections. We have to exceed expectations to make the playoffs this year. And Greenberg's immediate response to that, which was mine when I first heard it, was, you said the same thing last year and it didn't happen. So what is different? Like, wow. I mean, that's literally like telling Jed Hoyer, you're not doing your job. We're in the same spot we were last year, and you're saying the same things. They have to exceed their projections. And it was shocking that Hoyer would admit to that. And even better, that Greenberg called him on it immediately. And Hoyer didn't take offense to it. He's great in front of the media. He's like, he just said it was a strange year, is what he said.
That's one way of putting it.
And he said, we did not meet our expectation, or we did not exceed our expectations. So I don't think that's really a good answer. I mean, it's an answer. It was a strange year. It just, I don't know. It's just frustrating that you and I have seen it. We've talked about it. I feel like the last 3 years we've seen it. The Cubs are kind of in this holding pattern. They're just spinning their wheels around 500. They're not building a roster that should win 90 plus games. That's just not what they've done. And whether it's Hoyer's fault, whether it's ownership's fault, which is where I lay most of the blame, it's a consistent subject that is not. It's obvious. It's obvious to everyone that's paying attention what's happening. They're not improving the roster enough to, division where they have significant advantages. They're not exploiting those in any way. And for Hoyer to say these things and to admit it in a contract year when he is in the final year of his deal, it's a disheartening place to be. And like you said, being 0-2 already and having the potential of being 0-5 after the first weekend as their record, and one of the toughest April and May schedules you could imagine. They're on the West Coast a couple times. They're playing all last year playoff teams essentially. They have no respite. It's all top competition. So if they don't get off to a hot start, which is difficult, it's playing out exactly like last year did. I mean, it's deja vu all over again. As we've seen potentially now for 3 years in a row. So I don't know. That's why I just found it a little bit ironic that, they're selling out their season tickets and announcing that while their GM is telling you that they are spinning their wheels essentially. I guess that optimism, the big change, like I mentioned, is Kyle Tucker, which we talked about a lot.
Mother
Haven't
Tucker.
seen much out of. Yeah, the bad Mother Tucker. But the bigger story involving tangentially Kyle Tucker is one of the biggest stories in all of baseball is Cam Smith, who was traded from the Cubs to the Astros for Kyle Tucker with other players, with Isaac Paredes and Hayden Wesneski. So Cam Smith played a total of 32 minor league games and is already being promoted to the major leagues. And he had, you were mentioning Luis Roberts' stellar spring. Cam Smith has the same numbers, if not better, and forced his way into the major league lineup in Houston. So this is going to be fascinating. Like we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and I've heard more and more people talk about it subsequently. I think every week we're going to have to do a segment about, who's got the better stats this week, Cam Smith or Kyle Tucker. And if that goes the wrong way, I think Jed Hoyer loses his job partway through the season. I mean, it's such a it would be such a glaring failure on top of multiple failures to make the playoffs. That in particular would be a brutal outcome that I think you'll definitely enjoy that segment if we do that every week. Maybe I'll let you spearhead that if you'd want. But
I will be more than happy to take the lead on that, my friend.
I thought you would. So I think we can start that. I mean, Tucker's already accumulated some stats. He has 1 hit. He's batting 125 on the season now. So 1 for 8.
Is he on the Sox?
Yeah. So we can start accumulating that maybe on our next episode after the weekend. See what their stats look like. Everyone in Chicago, at least, is going to be watching that very, very closely. So.
Word Hole Media.